are videos the FBI has worked hard to make sure you haven't seen. They're from the Google Drive account of Thomas Crooks, the man who on July 13th, 2024, showed up at the Butler County, Pennsylvania fairgrounds and tried to assassinate the frontrunner, Donald Trump.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Fake. Said it from the beginning, that was fake.
A quarter inch of destroying this country. And yet, a year and a half later, we still know almost nothing about him or why he did it. That's because, for some reason, the FBI, even the current FBI, doesn't want us to know.
What's up?
Since the start of their investigation, the FBI has claimed that Thomas Crooks acted alone and that he was a virtual ghost online with no presence at all. Their only substantive claim about Crooks's motive was that he was a right-winger. We learned that from FBI Deputy Director Paul Abate, who said this to Congress just 1 month after the attempted assassination.
Something just very recently uncovered that I want to share is a social media account which is believed to be associated with the shooter in about the 2019-2020 timeframe. There were over 700 comments posted from this account. Some of these comments, if ultimately attributable to the shooter, appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes, to espouse political violence, and are described as extreme in nature.
The social media account Abate was describing was Crooks's YouTube comments. When the FBI made that claim, we had to take his word for it. We have no way to check, but now we do. In September, we obtained hundreds of comments from Thomas Crooks's YouTube account. Since then, we've gone to great lengths to verify that they're real. We can now confidently say they are. These are genuine, written by Thomas Crooks. But although Crooks's comments are interesting and give tremendous insight into why he did it, they're not the only story. The other story, in fact, the far more significant story, involves the government, the DOJ, and the FBI, which have hidden from the public what they know about Thomas Crooks. The purpose of this report is to reveal details of Crooks's social media accounts and to confront a series of key questions. Why is the FBI keeping Crooks's views a secret? Why are they ignoring congressional subpoenas to divulge information? Why are they pretending that there's nothing to see here? And more than anything, what are they hiding? Before we present our findings, it's critical to establish how we obtained the comments and how we know they're real. In late September, we received a tip from a source. He told us he'd gained access to some of Thomas Crooks's accounts. He'd found these accounts by utilizing tools commonly used by private investigators. The key lead was Thomas Crooks's phone number. That was published in documents obtained by America First Legal. That phone number led our source to Thomas Crooks's primary email account, tmcrooks7@gmail.com. That in turn, he linked with more than a dozen other accounts. That list includes 2 foreign encrypted email accounts, AmericanGamer@gmx.com, a German website, and bcook@mailfence.com, a Belgian website. Crooks had a Snapchat, Tom_Crooks19, a Venmo account, Thomas-Crooks12, a PayPal account under the alias Rod Swanson, a Zelle registered as Thomas Crooks, as well as accounts on Discord, a Google Play account called Colossal Microwave, a Quizlet titled Thomas_Crooks, a chess.com with the same name, and 2 disabled Quora accounts under the handles Thomas Crooks8 and Thomas Crooks3. It turns out that Thomas Crooks was hardly an online ghost. He was active, and yet federal investigators lied and told us there was no trace of him online. Some of Crooks's accounts, like his Snapchat, appear to have been fully deactivated and completely taken out of use. Some of them may have been unused or cleared by federal officials during the investigation. We don't know because the FBI wouldn't tell us. However, our source was able to retrieve all data from Thomas Crooks's deactivated YouTube account, Tom Crooks 2178, visible to other users as Tom Crooks. This account includes his search history, his watch history, and 737 public comments. Another critical account, his Google Drive, is linked to an archive of Crooks's YouTube account. That's where our source obtained the videos of Crooks dry firing a handgun in his bedroom with paper targets on the wall behind him. But aside from the video evidence, the email addresses, and the phone number tying Crooks to the account, or the fact that most of these accounts use his actual name, there are other key details that support the authenticity of what we found. For example, this video's metadata shows it was filmed at Thomas Crooks's parents' home. And some of Crooks's YouTube comments are still available on Internet Archive sites. Crooks's YouTube channel was suspended on July 14th, 2024. That's the day after the shooting. Its offense, quote, violating YouTube's policy on violent criminal organizations. And though Crooks's comments are no longer available on YouTube, in many cases, the commenters who responded to Crooks are still there, and they match what we see on the Internet Archive sites. When you click on their tags of Crooks's accounts, YouTube takes you to a page that says, this channel was removed because it violated our community guidelines. In other words, there is ample evidence to support the authenticity of these posts. Our source figured it out. So did we. But when we reached out directly to the FBI to ask why the Bureau hadn't shared any details from the account with the public, the FBI responded by questioning whether we could verify the authenticity of the account. We were confused by this, considering the authenticity is self-evident. And of course, the FBI would have known that since the day of the shooting. What exactly is the FBI hiding? Here's what we do know. The digital comments we obtained were posted between 2019 and 2020, when Thomas Crooks was between 15 and 17 years old. They show two things. First, that Thomas Crooks was not some secretive lone wolf who never warned anyone that he was planning violence, just the opposite. Years before he showed up in Butler, Crooks was leaving a detailed digital trail of violent threats, including calls for assassinations and political violence. Second, they show a man who started out as a radical Trump supporter, whose views on the president transformed, changed completely during COVID. The FBI lied about that fact and pretended that Crooks was a right-winger. At 11:35 p.m. on July 19th, 2019, in response to an MSNBC video, Crooks wrote, quote, Ilhan Omar and others are invaders and should honestly be killed and their dead bodies sent back. At 1:17 a.m. on July 20th, 2019, Crooks commented on a CNN video. He said Donald Trump was the literal definition of patriotism. 7 hours later, he commented on an MSNBC video. He wrote, I hope a quick, painful death to all the deplorable immigrants and anti-Trump congresswomen who don't deserve anything this country has given them. That evening, on a separate MSNBC video, he wrote, quote, every one of the Trump-hating Democrats deserve to have their heads chopped off and put on stakes for the world to see what happens when you fuck with America. These sorts of comments continued for months and became increasingly violent. The following day, Crooks responded to a CBS Evening News video about the squad saying this, quote, this is going to be blatantly racist, but I hope Trump has these people murdered. Crooks openly called for dictatorship and putting, quote, Hispanics back in their place. He warned that if Democrats win in 2020, quote, they won't be in there for long because unlike the Dems, we have guns and lots of them. In one comment, Crooks noted that, quote, 50 million Americans with AR-15s will make quick work of any blockades the government can put in to protect the White House. He left multiple references to Mao Zedong's famous line, the only real political power comes from the barrel of a gun. On September 30th, 2019, Crooks responded to comments about a potential civil war, saying this, most rioters don't bring assault rifles and body armor like we would, and we wouldn't be going to the streets, we'd be going to Washington. At this point, one user named HyperPandas responded saying, quote, law enforcement will thank you for grouping up and being so visible. It'll make your arrest so much simpler. Crooks responded saying, cops can't arrest me if they're all dead. Before adding, even an untrained man with an AR-15 is dangerous. You think Adam Lanza or any school shooter trained? Nope. If you navigate to that YouTube page today, you can still see identical contextual comments and people referring to Thomas Crooks, including one user who wrote this: "You were on YouTube threatening to shoot government officials. I sure hope the FBI is monitoring social media for violent nutcases." That exchange is still available on Internet Archive websites. But the FBI didn't see that before the shooting? That's hard to believe. On various occasions, Crooks openly said things like, Mueller should be hanged along with the rest of the Democrats involved in that witch hunt, and I always believed being patriotic was lining up a bunch of socialist Jews, like the ones who booed Trump, and blasting their useless brains out with an AR. And yet, in early 2020, Crooks seemed to change radically. On January 23rd of that year, he referred to, quote, Trump's stupidity. He began to mock the concept of the deep state. He suggested it was a code word used by Trump supporters for, quote,
That's
anyone who
when they
disagrees
got
with the
him,
right wing.
and
Suddenly,
they
he
started.
sounded like an MSNBC commentator. In February of 2020, he called out Trump supporters as, quote, too brainwashed to realize how dumb you are. I mean, literally, you guys sound like a cult at times. That same day, he called Trump and his supporters, quote, racist. It was an amazing transformation. That April, during the peak phase of the coronavirus lockdowns, Crooks wrote, quote, it seems that you people don't understand that sometimes public safety comes before your personal rights. Are you not willing to quarantine one member of your family to save the rest? If so, you are not a patriot, and you aren't protecting anything. Around this time, the new left-wing version of Thomas Crooks became very critical of conservative media. He said at one point, quote, going to a Chinese New Year's party in America isn't putting you at risk for coronavirus, because, believe it or not, viruses don't spread through race like Tucker Carlson probably told you. That May, as state officials across the country overhauled election systems to promote mail-in voting, Crooks attacked Republican concerns about voter fraud as, quote, ignorant. 4 months later, in August 2020, his tone had shifted even further to the left. He said, quote, I believe the outcome will be irrelevant. In response to the same video, Thomas Crooks issued what sounds a lot like a digital manifesto. Quote, in my opinion, the only way to fight the government is with terrorism-style attacks. Sneak a bomb into an essential building and set it off before anyone sees you. Track down any important people or politicians, military leaders, etc., and try to assassinate them. Any sort of head-to-head fight is suicide, and even ambush or surprise attacks likely aren't going to end well. These remarks were especially notable because they came at the final phase of Crooks's YouTube commenting. At that point, a new character emerged into the conversation, a user named Willie Tepes, who started pressuring Crooks to commit violence. For example, quote, if a gun and a badge is all that is needed, then authority obviously comes from the barrel of a gun. We have more guns than they do. There is no way we can avoid a war at this point, so you better just get used to the idea. We have nothing to lose. And
You mean to
everything
tell
win.
me someone was trying to radicalize him further into committing the things he was just talking
So
about?
who is this Willie Tepes? Unfortunately,
No
we don't know.
way.
The FBI hasn't
I
made
am
any mention of
so
him.
shocked right
Well, they certainly
now.
know he exists.
Oh
Just days
my god.
after the shooting, somebody screenshotted Tepes' YouTube account page,
What?
despite the fact he had very few followers. To the extent that he can be traced online now, you can find his username being used on a foreign Antifa website. Those sites link him to the Nordic Resistance Movement, which has been designated a terrorist group by the U.S. State Department. That's all we know. We do know, however, that Crooks' online footprint abruptly ends after his encounter with this mysterious figure, Willie Tepes. Regardless of whoever Willie Tepes is or was and what his motives may have been, who he may have been working for, there is no doubt that Crooks was ripe for recruitment by someone. From early 2019 to mid-2020, as his political views were evolving, Crooks searched for Trump more than 700 times online. He also searched for Jack Ruby, the man who assassinated Lee Harvey Oswald. He then submitted queries for craziest chemical reactions, cars running over protesters, best places for mass shooting El Paso, Trump Civil War, Orlando shooting reaction, firing an AR-15 as fast as possible, fertilizer bomb, how to make napalm, how to make a Molotov cocktail, mass shooting Canada, Oklahoma bombing, and sniper in Dallas shooting. He also searched for American Nazi Party, German National Anthem, 1933-1945, Hitler's speeches with subtitles, neo-Nazis, and, quote, why gays need to go. Hate to brag, but we're pretty confident this show is the most vehemently pro-dog podcast you're ever going to see. We can take or leave some people, but dogs are non-negotiable. They are the best. They really are our best friends. And so for that reason, we're thrilled to have a new partner called Dutch Pet. It's the fastest growing pet telehealth service. Dutch.com is on a mission to create what you need, what you actually need, affordable quality veterinary care anytime, no matter where you are. They will get your dog or cat what you need immediately. It's offering an exclusive discount, Dutch is, for our listeners. You get $50 or $50 off of a volatile, troubled, possibly mentally ill young man with a long record of espousing violence in public. The FBI clearly knew he existed. And then you have, at the very end of his years commenting in public, espousing violence, an exchange with a mysterious figure affiliated with the group that we know is being monitored by the U.S. State Department. It turns out that around the same time that Thomas Crooks was making these searches and posting overt threats of violence against public figures on YouTube, the FBI was issuing contracts to private sector tech surveillance firms to harness the power of mass data collection tools that would monitor social media for people just like Thomas Crooks. It's hard to imagine that Thomas Crooks, who was making these posts publicly and in his own name, had not been identified and looked at closely by federal law enforcement.
He was on our radar.
It's impossible to imagine. What do we know? Well, we know that the FBI had access to these YouTube comments, and rather than giving us valuable information about them, giving us a sense of why Thomas Crooks did what he did, they used a selective read of those comments to lie about what Thomas Crooks was thinking. 2.5 weeks after the attack on July 30th, a source familiar with the investigation told CNN that, quote, federal investigators are looking into a YouTube account possibly connected to Crooks in which the user espoused political violence as well as anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes. Well, of course, it wasn't possibly connected to Thomas Crooks, as the FBI knew full well it was Thomas Crooks' account. There was never any question about that. And yet the same day, the FBI's then deputy director made the same dishonest claim before Congress. The week previous, then FBI Director Christopher Wray publicly questioned whether Trump was even shot.
With respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear.
In February 2025, the New York Post reported that, quote, the FBI has obstructed efforts to solve the mystery of why Thomas Matthew Crooks, who left no manifesto, did what he did. And this fact, said the Post, left local law enforcement as well as Crooks' former friends, classmates, and teachers frustrated. The level of lying and obstruction is shocking. Less than a month after the shooting, Congressman Clay Higgins of Louisiana, a former police officer, traveled to Butler to conduct his own investigation into what happened. When he arrived, he discovered a disturbing fact. The FBI released Crooks' body for cremation 10 days after July 13th. This wasn't known to the public until Higgins arrived in Butler on August 5th, when the coroner told the congressman, quote, he would never have released Crooks' body to the family for cremation or burial without specific permission from the FBI. The timing of Crooks' cremation is notable. The day Crooks' body was burned was also the day the House Homeland Security and Oversight Committees had begun their investigations into the shooting. The fact the body was cremated made it impossible for investigators outside the FBI to verify the coroner and autopsy report.
Stop!
Because the body doesn't exist. According to Higgins, quote, this action by the FBI can only be described by any reasonable man as an obstruction to any following investigation. Another notable detail is
Well, that's what you get.
FBI agent pulled down the site where Crooks died. High-level intelligence officials and congressional sources told us this is very strange, and that the FBI usually hires out crime scene cleanup to third-party contractors. But in this case, they did it themselves, leaving no blood and no tissue for anyone else to analyze. In the photo, the agent shirt says he's from the Technical Hazards Response Unit, the unit that collects traditional forensic evidence contaminated with hazardous materials. After the shooting, the FBI sent Crooks' phone to the Bureau's lab in Virginia. Agents there were able to open it in less than 4 minutes using technology from his daily check
I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. And whether you like it or not is up to you. If there was a big explosive there, right? Given my history as a Secret Service
You fucking bitch.
and my personal friendship as a director does with the president, give me one logical, sensible reason we would not have. If you could think of one, there isn't. In some of these cases, the there you're looking for is not there.
What a baffling thing to say. Thomas Crooks is dead, of course. There was no trial against Thomas Crooks. And by the way, they weren't misspeaking. This wasn't an accident. We know that because the director of the FBI said the same thing once again under oath in front of Congress in September.
When your brothers were set right there in that
Do not even. I'm in a frustration place.
No question about Matthew Thomas Crooks, the shooter responsible for the assassination attempt on President Trump's life. I did get an answer from Chris Wray that day, and I submitted written questions to the FBI and into the record of this committee. And I want to resubmit those questions today because I think we are still awaiting answers to those questions. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit them to the record, please. I'd like to ask you, sir, and the FBI, under your leadership, would you please respond to these questions and can you commit to doing that?
As soon as the trial's over.
But if it's true that there's nothing here, then the FBI has a very strange way of showing it. In July of 2024, bipartisan group of senators led by Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin sent a letter, quote, requesting records related to the July 13th, 2024 assassination attempt. Fully a year later, the FBI still had not responded. What is this about? This summer, Senator Johnson issued a new subpoena, noting that, quote, nearly a year after the assassination attempt and the initiation of the subcommittee's investigation, the FBI has repeatedly failed to produce the subcommittee records and information critical to its investigation. In the subpoena, they demanded pictures and images related to the assassination, video footage, forensic reports, records related to FBI interviews, and notably, all records referring or relating to any of Thomas Crooks's electronic devices, digital or financial accounts, or online search history.
What are you telling us? I am totally unsatisfied. I am totally unsatisfied. You had a person with a modern rifle, modern scoped rifle at 130 yards who shot at the former commander-in-chief of the United States and a guy who was going to be, by all accounts at that point, the future commander-in-chief. And then they tried to kill my father 8 weeks later, you know, at his golf course in Palm Beach.
Oh, come the fuck on!
Every single day. I am totally unsatisfied that we have one picture of that shooter. The guy looks like he was 14 years old in the picture. We know nothing about him. We know nothing about him. Right? And I am totally unsatisfied with the result, and I think a lot of America is unsatisfied with the result, and I think we better get to the bottom of exactly what happened.
Are you telling me there's a conspiracy here that you believe that Eric Trump believes resulted in the assassination attempt?
Yes, I think they tried to kill my father because they did not want his voice on that stage.
Unfortunately, the reality is that the FBI, as of today, is not only stonewalling, but is actually preventing
It's just one little end piece.
Within days of the shooting,
This never happens. You're usually very capable of getting these fucking knots out very quickly. But for some reason today, it's already fucking a struggle to get this shit to wind up as it was. And now it's just an absolute fucking hellscape.
They confirmed the existence of one gaming account.
It's just, this stuff is just wrapped around. That's it. It's just, this shit is wrapped around the string.
Within a day of the shooting, the social media companies that hosted Crooks's comments took his accounts offline. In some cases, the records of those comments in the Internet Archive were also erased. Did the FBI order that too? What we do know is that on the day of the attacks, Thomas Crooks got extremely lucky. Miraculously lucky. After he arrived at the Butler County Fairgrounds on the morning of the shooting, Thomas Crooks conducted surveillance by flying his drone over the rally site. He flew that drone for 11 minutes. It just so happened the Secret Service's anti-drone system were down at exactly the same moment. What are the odds? Later that afternoon, police officers saw Crooks loitering with a backpack and a rangefinder. They identified him as a suspicious person, which he clearly was, but quickly lost track of him. And so, Crooks climbed to the top of the American Glass Research Building. That happened to be the only...
Kat, you're gonna make me yell at you. I can see it coming.
It was also, remarkably, inexplicably, outside the Secret Service's security perimeter, despite the fact It was very close to the stage. 2 local police officers assigned to the building saw Crooks, but they didn't report him. A third officer who was supposed to
It's
be
okay,
there
Heather. Don't get
left
so mad.
early.
You're making
At
progress.
6:11
There's
p.m.,
no need to
Crooks
cut all the
opened fire
string
from
and
the
just tie it together.
Look what
There's
happened.
no need to do that.
Within the vacuum left by the FBI and its total unwillingness to explain what had happened,
All it
the
is
media were
just
able
stuff
to
literally just
leverage the
wrapped
shooting
around.
to serve its own political
It's not
ends.
even
And
knotted. It's
ABC
just wrapped
reported
around.
that this
Like,
happened because white men own guns.
It was, a 20-year-old lone wolf, white, whack job with easy access to a gun. And we have to have a conversation about that.
And within days of the shooting, U.S. intelligence officials started leaking about a supposed plot by the Iranian government to kill Trump. There was never any evidence that if you were planning a regime change war against Iran, you might claim otherwise.
Let me read to you this breaking news that we are reporting from 3 U.S. officials who have been briefed on the matter. The U.S. obtained intelligence in recent weeks about an Iranian plot to assassinate Donald Trump.
The stonewalling, the lying, the persistent unwillingness to explain anything, all of it makes you wonder, what are they hiding? If the leadership of the
oh my
FBI
God, this
and the
is an
DOJ
absolute
had any
fucking
desire whatsoever
shit
to
show
prove to the public that there was in
nightmare.
fact nothing there, they could do that. But first they would have to answer these questions. Was Thomas
Sucky!
known to federal law enforcement?
My house is not your jungle gym!
Known to local
Go outside!
before the shooting? And if not, why not? Who is Willie Tepes? And was he known to federal law enforcement? Is Willie Tepes linked to any violent organizations? Is he linked to any governments? And if so, then around the time of the shooting, did the FBI have assets inside those organizations? If Crooks wasn't known to anyone in authority before the shooting, how was he able to post hundreds of violent extremist comments under his real name between 2019 and 2020 without being detected by law enforcement or intel agencies at a time we know they were monitoring social media? Were those comments, including specific assassination threats against specific public officials, ever reported to YouTube? Other users complained about them. Did YouTube know? Why is the FBI telling us that they'll release this information, quote, after the trial, when there is no trial? Why did an FBI agent from the Technical Hazards Response Unit hose down the crime scene the day after the attack? That seems very strange. What happened on the roof of the American Glass Research Building for the 10 seconds after Crooks's last shot until he was killed by the Secret Service? Does the FBI have surveillance footage of Thomas Crooks' shooting that day? Was the FBI present at the medical examiner's autopsy? Are there still blood samples? Can they be examined by outside authorities? When Congress demanded the autopsy, did the FBI restrict what the examiner could tell the Congress? When the FBI cleared the coroner to release Crooks's body for cremation, did they keep tissue samples, brain tissue samples, spinal cord samples, or spinal fluid samples? Law enforcement sources told us that in a typical investigation in a crime of this nature, it would be normal to preserve all of that, those samples. If the FBI didn't, why not? And who made that decision to destroy what could
Why
be
does it smell like
critical
shit?
evidence in an attempted murder case? FBI agents went to the same gun range that Thomas Crooks was using. Who were those agents, and did any of them at any time have any
The
contact?
fucking cat is using the fucking
Who
letterbox!
did he train with exactly, and why can't we know? Was Thomas Crooks taking drugs?
God, I fucking can't stand cats very much right now.
Listed somehow. On what date specifically did FBI agents stop investigating Thomas Crooks's online presence? Why did the former deputy director of the FBI, Paul Bate, suggest to Congress that Crooks was a right-winger when he clearly wasn't? Was the FBI aware of Crooks's public comments before the shooting, many of which are openly violent, that included specific assassination attempts involving public officials? Who was Thomas Crooks in communication with in the days before the attack?
Oh, good God, stink!
Why did he have a burner phone and encrypted phone email accounts? Who were the government officials trying to link Iran to the shooting? Why did the FBI suggest that he had no digital footprint in the first place when the FBI had a great deal of evidence, hundreds and hundreds of comments from his digital activity? And what's on the other dozen accounts?
I know, Orly, it stinks, yes. Ugh.
How long had Thomas Crooks been planning to commit an assassination? If there's
Dog
nothing
is even
there,
miserable.
if they tell you this is just a lone nut who gave no indication.
Bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? What did you eat?
Giving the facts to Congress. Because if there's nothing there, these should be very easy questions to answer. We're excited to announce a new partner of our show, Poncho Outdoors. Poncho specializes in men's shirts designed for the great outdoors. Their flannels are excellent. They're not bulky or stiff, and they are durable. They're built for comfort. These medium weights.
Or leave not now. You stepped in fucking shit. God damn it.
Each shirt is comfortable, durable, versatile for whatever happens. Slim, regular, tall fits because
I swear to fucking God, dude. You gotta go. You gotta go. Right now. Right now. Come here. Come on.
CHOoutdoors.com/Tucker for $10 off and free shipping. When they ask, how'd you hear about Poncho? Let them know the Tucker Carlson Show sent you with maximum enthusiasm.
Do you want to go outside too? Please, Lord, yes.
So every now and then, I like to go back and check out some old 2000s movies. And almost every time I do,
Oh.
I end up liking them way more than I thought I would. Like, of course, Mean Girls is a classic, right? But like Sky High, Coraline, Jennifer's Body, like all these movies are so good. Why didn't anybody tell me? Okay, so continuing on today, I wanted to check out School of Rock, the classic 2003 Jack Black movie. Now, I remember watching this movie back when I was like 14 or so, and I think I liked it well enough back then. But now that I'm much older and much less mature, probably. So let's see how it stands up against my rigorous and pristine movie taste. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Skillshare. Somehow, we're already a third of the way through 2023.
Yep, I just wanted to spend 45 minutes doing this. I definitely didn't want to do any crocheting.
Learning a new skill this year. Because, like, how do you even start? What do? You want to learn, like, literally any music instrument? Self-improvement techniques like journaling or how to get over a creative slump? You want to learn how to make cool stuff for weddings that your friends are definitely going to be jealous of? Well, wouldn't you know, you can learn almost anything on Skillshare. Now, some of you may know, I used to make a lot of video essays on this channel before I started this animation stuff. And I'll tell you right now, true story, I first learned how to do motion graphics and how to use Adobe After Effects from Skillshare. And then I took what I learned from that and applied it to animation.
There's
and
the
now
fucking
here we are.
end.
Thanks, Skillshare. Right now, Skillshare has a special
Okay,
offer
so
for
this
all
is
of you.
this.
The first 1,000 people who join Skillshare using my link, you get 1 month of Skillshare for free. Okay, so let's say you do Skillshare for like an hour a day. That's 30 hours of classes you could get for free. So if this interests you, I highly recommend you click my link down below, sign up to Skillshare.
The end is caught in the center of this fucking knot, is where it
We start off with our main
is.
character, Dewey Finn. Dewey is basically a washed-up nobody who's been chasing the dream of being a rock star for the last, like, basically his entire life. And it's going well.
What is it?
Dewey, hey, it's the first of the month, and I would like your share of the rent now, please.
Oh, man, you know I don't have it. You wake me up for that? Come on.
I mean, you owe me a lot of money as it is.
Yeah, try $2,200.
Oh my goodness, wow, he hasn't paid rent in so long, he owes $2,000? In New York City, I mean, $2,200 is like 1 week sleeping in some dude's bathtub these days.
Mommy, could we please talk about this later?
No, we can't talk about it later because Ned and I have to go to work. We have jobs. I am an assistant to the mayor of the city. Hello.
God, I can't stand Sarah Silverman.
Why her?
And Ned has the most important job there is.
Yeah, like telling me I'm pretty and listening to me talk about how hot Chris Hemsworth is, but you better not tell me how much you like Margot Robbie, or else it's the doghouse for you, Ned. I'm such a catch.
Ed has the most important job there is.
Temping?
Dewey, a substitute teacher is not a temp.
Dude, I've been mooching off you for years, and it's never been a problem until she showed up. Just dump her, man.
Come on, man. What do you mean you're tired of paying twice the rent for half the space? Cut me some slack. I have early stage onset glaucoma or something, probably.
But if you don't come up with some money, she's gonna dump me. She's fed up.
Really? Because that would be a good thing. She's a nightmare.
Come on! I may never have another girlfriend. I mean, just come on! Come up with some money, please!
Yeah, okay, to be fair, I get that, Ned. I mean, like, come on. How do these two even meet? Well, hey, if I'm going to be disappointed, at least I'll see it coming this time. Anyway, so Dewey's kind of starting to freak out a little bit because, you know, the well of free room and board is drying up, and the world doesn't care about the music anymore, man. I mean, come on, what's he supposed to do? You know,
Where is the end of my shit?
Like 3 emails a day and then make a bunch of spreadsheets that no one cares about anyway. And right then, the landline phone with like a 6-mile-long cord rings and changes everything forever.
Yeah.
Is this Mr. Schneebly?
Nah, he's not here.
Oh, could you take a message for me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell him this is Cinnamon, and he might want to get tested.
And we're having a little emergency here, and all of our subs are already working. Pat Wickham at Milton Prep recommended I give Mr. Schneebly a call. Do you know if he's available?
Oh, no wonder he's with Sarah Silverman. Schneebly.
Just stand there
Oh,
talking on the
I guess
phone
I
like a
never
very
fixed
normal
the...
person.
I was a little bit mad.
We pay our substitutes $6.50 a week.
$650 a week in 2003. Well, hot dog. That's like $1,100 a week in 2023 money. Hey, that's not that bad actually. How much do substitute teachers make in New York City these days? Let's see here. $135 a day times 5 days a week. That's $675 a week. Huh. Wow, in 20 years the pay has gone up $25. Wow, good thing rent and food prices have also not gone up at all in the last 20 years, or else this would be a little crazy now, wouldn't it? Anyway, so Dewey gets this genius idea to pretend to be Ned and take his job so he can earn some quick cash to pay rent and get Ned and the old ball and chain out of his face, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, what could possibly go wrong?
Yay.
This is considered the best elementary school in the state, and we maintain that reputation by adhering to a strict code of conduct, faculty included.
Because I'm a hard ass, and if a kid gets out of line, I got no problem smacking him in the head.
No, we don't use corporal punishment here.
Okay, so just verbal abuse?
No, we let the parents do that so the kids grow up and leave, and then the parents wonder why their kids never call them or want to talk to them anymore. And so, yeah, thanks to the power of wacky coincidences, Dewey Finn is now Ned Schneebly, substitute teacher extraordinaire. But as you might imagine, being a wannabe rock star / current burnout, class goes a little bit differently than what the kids might be used to.
Who's got food in here? You're not gonna get in trouble. I'm hungry.
You. What do you got?
Okay, I'm sorry, but I just want to give a quick shout out to Dewey's absurdly large pants. This dude showed up to work today wearing Jenkos. What is this?
Okay. Teach. All right, look. Here's the deal. I've got a hangover.
So I hope you like movies, kids, because guess what? We're watching Fern Gully on repeat for the next 6 hours.
We'll start on this crapola tomorrow. Yes, Tinkerbell.
Summer, as class factotum, first I'd like to just say, welcome to Horseford.
Oh, is that a little tiny baby Miranda Cosgrove? How'd she get so small?
Usually now Miss Dunham teaches vocabulary, then gives us a pop quiz. Then she'll split us up into our reading groups. Track B is reading.
Okay, hey. Miss Dumbum ain't your teacher today? I am. And I got a headache and the runs. So I say, time for recess.
But to be fair, okay, Dewey's just saying all the stuff teachers wish they could. Hey kids, so my wife's banging my best friend and I had to move out, but my salary hasn't gone up in 15 years, so I can't even afford it. And there's kids on TikTok becoming millionaires by doing the hand jive, so literally, why am I even trying to teach you anything anyway? So, yeah, who wants to watch Newsies again? Now, Summer's a little taken aback here because she's so used to being at the top of the class.
Ah, there it is, you fucking bitch.
Just do whatever, no class, no one cares.
That poster charts everyone's performance. We get gold stars when we master the material covered in class. How do we get gold stars if we just have recess?
There will be no grades, or gold stars, or demerits.
Slight tangent here, but I've always thought it was kind of funny how older people always bring up millennials and their participation trophies and all that stuff. But I never knew a single kid who ever asked for one. Adults just started handing them out, and then 20 years later, the same adults are like, "Oh, you young people are getting all these things that you never asked for, but we all gave you anyway, and now I'm mad at you for it for some reason."
I predicted this in 1994 when I was in cheerleading, and I was like, why is everyone getting a thing? If everyone gets a trophy, then it means nothing. That was in 94, so I was complaining to the Port Salerno Panthers about how it wasn't fair that everyone got trophies. I didn't want a trophy. If I didn't perform, I don't want a trophy.
That's the real you.
Wait, what? The cross-dressing, blood-sucking incubus from Maggot. Music people really used to be something else. They all used to be demonic, eldritch gods of darkness, and now everyone just kind of looks like the walls at every gas station.
It was just excess string fuzz. Okay. Yeah, you forgot.
Dewey, not a satanic sex god anymore.
Oh, if I had a nickel for every time I said that. And then, of course, his girlfriend Patty's just over here like, well, let's not be so quick to throw that one away, Ned.
Get a job.
I got a job.
Got a job doing what?
I do what Ned does. I'm temping.
I'm not a temp, I'm a sub.
I mean, don't you miss rocking out?
Maybe it's time to give up those dreams.
So yeah, Dewey is
Just
once again
wrapped around like a fucking asshole.
He's doing this lame teaching job just so he doesn't end up homeless, you know? Like, his best friend is now a turncoat for the man and his ridiculously out-of-his-league girlfriend. And so, yeah, he's just kind of starting to feel like, what's the point of doing anything anymore?
Are you gonna teach us anything, or are we just gonna sit here?
Just do whatever you want.
I want to learn from my teacher.
Well, you want to learn something?
Yes, I do.
All right. Here's a useful lesson for you. Give up. Just quit. Because in this life, you can't win.
So then he goes on this like tirade for 5 minutes about how the world's just gonna beat you down and nothing's ever gonna go the way you want. So don't even try. And you know, just preparing these kids for all the years of Linkin Park and Simple Plan they're about to start making their entire personalities. So after this, the kids have music class, and Dewey overhears them playing and realizes that he could use them
Yay, I did it.
potentially play at the Battle of the Bands competition and maybe win some money.
And the legend of the rent was way hardcore.
Project. Rock band. It will test your head and your mind and your brain, too. You could say that every school in the state will be competing for the top prize.
Bitch.
It'll go on your permanent record. Hello, Harvard, yo.
Ah, yes, the old permanent record.
How in
line
the
gets
fuck
everything.
did that even
Although,
happen?
Ironically enough, kids have actually made their own permanent records now just by posting anything and everything on the internet. Like, they're not gonna go up and try and get jobs, and it's just gonna be like, so 2 weeks ago you tweeted, you want to do what to the Tricks Rabbit? Anyway, so I'm probably like the millionth person to talk about this or bring this up because this movie's kind of old. But like the next 10 or 15 minutes or so, like it's basically just one long, really fun and compelling way of learning about all 20 of these kids. Like Zach plays the guitar,
okay,
he's
we're
always
just gonna
wanted to play electric
do it
guitar, but Dad
again.
won't let him. Or Lawrence plays the piano, but he's been taught by society that he's not cool enough to be in a rock band.
You think I should be in the band?
Why not?
I'm not cool enough. People in bands are cool. I'm not cool. Nobody ever talks to me.
Well, those days are over, buddy. Because you could be the ugliest sad sack on the planet, but if you're in a rockin' band...
Yeah, I mean, come on, look at Ed Sheeran. Every other song he makes is about how he's picking up all these ladies, and like, you know that ain't right. And it just kind of goes down the line where he learns a little bit about each character, and Dewey does this in a very inclusive, supportive way, but like, it just kind of comes off so naturally.
You guys are on security detail. Your job is to make sure no one outside this room knows what we're doing in here. The future of the band depends on you. Okay, your first mission? Soundproofing this room.
Can I be the band stylist instead?
Of course you can, fancy pants.
Now, this movie came out back in 2003. It was 20 years ago, and stuff like this was normally used as like a joke, or Dewey, would have been like, "Oh, it's one of those kids." But like, he
You
doesn't
fucking
react in
whore.
a particular way at all. He's just like, "Yeah, kid, do what you gotta do," which I feel like is maybe part of showing his real like love of like the real rock and roll man. Where like a big part of it was about acceptance of things that at the time would have been seen as abnormal or strange. So the fact that Dewey's whole thing is about
Being gay was not strange in 2003.
movie, but also makes perfect sense for his character, who's all about challenging.
But if we had a child who was a fruit, we knew that they were probably gay.
Like, put herself out there.
The same as we do today. It's just that we're not allowed to say those things.
You've got something everybody wants. You've got talent, girl. You heard of Aretha Franklin, right?
Yeah.
She's a big lady.
As you all know. And, like,
Little
it's always
fucking
so
detour.
corny and it's like,
Yay, I did it.
so perfect for this role. I remember once I saw a joke somewhere
Okay, no
about
nuts.
how Jack Black is the
Mess
one
with
person who
me.
just needs like no context, Like if I was abducted in like an alien spaceship or something and Jack Black just ran down the hall playing the bongos, you'd be like, yeah, checks out. Anyway, so the next chunk of the movie is Dewey teaching the kids how to be rock stars and getting a show ready.
I need a different color so it doesn't blend in. My patience is being tried so hard today. All right. hate me so much. I don't understand why I'm struggling so hard with the yarn this morning. Bitch. Don't fucking play with me. And Legend of the Rent was way hardcore. I fucking can't stand acrylic yarn. This is why I prefer cotton. Excuse me, pardon me, but, fuck you. Oh, God damn it, the knot is tight. This fucking yarn is like, it tears very easily. So it's not the best for this situation to be tangled up. You fucking bitch. Thank you. This has got to be some kind of sick joke. There's no way that I keep getting tangled up like this. If you could just, I don't know, fuck off. There's just one little bit that keeps getting, now it's wrapped around. Because why wouldn't it be? Oh God, grant me the serenity. Go to your own little corner of the universe, that would be great. Oh, can't use my shoulder. Gotta try. Gotta try to loosen the shoulder up. My shoulders don't know how to do it. That's never happened before. Alrighty then. Heather, I don't know why you keep thinking that things are going to be smooth. I don't know why you've gaslit yourself into thinking that things are going to go in a cooperative way, things are flowing, things are, you know, they're just happening, man. The yarn is so slippery that the centrifugal force popped it off. I literally hate this yarn. Both the non-shreddy kind and this, both of them are fucking nightmares. That's why I like cotton yarn. Cotton yarn doesn't do that. The fibers are like longer strands. And it looks like the ink from Aliens. Cool. It looks exactly like the egg from Alien. Ah, I see that you guys have also just twisted some fabric together and called it string, huh? Swear to God, dude, I paid $10 for this. I'm mad. Oh, you asshole. God. Damn this string. Dancing in the moonlight, everybody's going, feeling bright, and such a fun and happy sight. Everybody's dancing. Are you fucking kidding me? This yarn sucks so hard, dude. Just the way that it is designed. Like, if I pull it too hard, it's literally just gonna tear it. There it goes. What the fuck were these people thinking? Why would they do this to people and be like, oh yeah, here, ha 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 ha, give me your money. Good luck and Godspeed making anything with that shit. Like, what in the fuck? If it's just gonna tear like that, if it's not even like wound together like strands, like all yarn and string is made, like, it's just fibers. It's just fibers that are just touching each other. There's no twist to it. It's just the fibers. I'm not trying to make fucking doll hair. I'm trying to actually knit here. Fucking bastards. Well, I guess I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Very good day to you. Hello, very good day to you. I think I'm gonna go and go clean my ex-husband's house or go take Elliot somewhere. I'm gonna veg out for a bit though, and then I'm gonna go hang out with my kid. I'll see you guys later.